This edition will be about the Security Intelligence Review Committee. This is an article in the Journal Star that is found recent, about 20, half hour ago or so. It's a Toronto Star report that it's a report CSIS slaps CSIS over Omar Khadr, which yeah, this is ridiculous. This might be a two-parter actually. So I'll read the article, then I'll say my thoughts, and next part I'll probably go through some of that, and I'll go through mine. So we'll try to keep it short, but probably not. This article is from Michelle Shepard, National Security Reporter. So it's Guantanamo Bay. Canada's spy service believed Omar Khadr's viewed Al Qaeda through the eyes of a child, but treated him as an adult and failed to acknowledge the human rights abuses when here when interrogating him in 2003, concludes an Ottawa watchdog agency. In a retort tabled with the government this morning, the Security Intelligence Review Committee said CSIS had operational interest to interview Khadr, but the service was criticized for not having special guidelines for dealing with use and ignored widespread reports of abuse of Guantanamo detainees. The time may have come for CSIS to undertake a fundamental reassessment of how it carries out its work and to shift its operational culture to keep pace with recent political and legal developments, wrote Gary Filmon, chair of the Security Intelligence Review Committee, in a statement. Filmon added that it is vital for CSIS to demonstrate that it has professionalism, experience, and know-how required to make difficult decisions that arise when conducting operations abroad, particularly if confronted with situations similar to that of Mr. Khadr's. In response to CSIS spokesman Meryl Burbey said the service had to adapt to the more recent phenomenon of youth radicalization and will consider SIRC's findings as it continues to assess how to deal with this threat. CSIS reportedly claimed that they did not know that the Toronto More captain was abused by his U.S. interrogator as part of a program to soften up detainees for questioning. Boubet wrote in an email early this morning that while CSIS is aware of media allegations of mistreatment of Guantanamo detainees, the service had no reliable proof Omar Khadr had been mistreated prior to his interview with him. The SIRC is given unfettered access to CSIS files and employees when conducting reviews of the spy service. I'm going to stop right there for a minute. Spy service. They're not a spy service. They're an intelligence agency. I don't care what they are. They're not spies. They're intelligence agents. Intelligence service. They gather intelligence that we need, the military does need to conduct its operations and to do the things. So the government needs to operate. The investigation disclosed for the first time quotes from a post-interrogation report written by a CSIS agent. He wrote that Khadr viewed the activities of his father through the eyes of a child. Bull crap. It should be noted that Khadr was 15 years of age when captured. Most of the cruelties of his father's association with Al-Qaeda figures took place when he was merely a child, wrote the agent. The report concluded in Canadian society there is a long-standing recognition of young people should be treated differently than adults because they have not attained certain decision-making skills and therefore require special protection and guidance. As spokesman for Public Safety Minister Peter Van Loan said, the government is reviewing the SIRC report with interest. As you know, it deals with the events that took place under the previous Liberal government. You know, the spokesperson Chris McCluskey. Ha ha ha. PM Stephen Harper, has said he won't ask Khadr's reputation. His case remains in limbo as the Obama administration decides if and where he should be prosecuted. Khadr appeared this afternoon before a military commission with Canadian lawyer Dennis Edney beside him. For months, Khadr's U.S. military defense team had been feuding, leading him to once break down sobbing as they argued before him. The new American civilian attorneys are now expected to join his case once they determine security clearance. Oh, great. More lawyers with security clearances. Just great. Army Colonel Patrick Parrish, the military judge presiding over his case, said he would reserve his decision about whether the case would now be delayed until September. As the U.S. administration has requested, Khadr was captured 7 years ago on July 27, 2002, following a firefight with U.S. Special Forces in Afghanistan. The Pentagon alleges he threw a grenade during a battle that fatally wounded Delta Force soldier Christopher Spear. Always figured he was Delta. Always figured he was a Delta medic. CSIS agents interviewed Khadr twice that year in 2003 before a federal court injunction stopped any further interrogations. Oh, crap. Canada's Supreme Court forced the government to release a video of CSIS agents questioning Khadr in February 2003, which created a stir around the world and prompted an SIRC investigation into spy service conduct. When the Canadian teacher was first detained at the U.S. base in Bagram, Afghanistan, he was subject to more than 40 days of interrogation, and session lasted as long as 8 hours a day. He was sometimes brought to the interrogator on a stretcher due to his injuries. He had been shot at least twice in the back by U.S. Special Forces. They couldn't do it. They couldn't take care of him back then. Damn. His interrogation continued in Guantanamo, where he was transferred in October 2002. He claims he was physically abused and was once left hogtied until he was forced to urinate on himself. A guard later used his body in his shackled position as a human mop, throwing the cleaning solvent on the floor, he alleges. The course of messages used during interrogation have since been discontinued here, and the senior Pentagon official said they amounted to torture. What can I say about that? Uh, yeah, okay. Some of the stuff said yeah, can be considered abuse. Mopping up his being used to mop up his own urine with his own body. Well, you know what? You killed a U.S. You were a part of the act that killed U.S. Special Forces soldier, medic, Christopher Spear, Mr. Spear. Uh, I mean, Sergeant Spear. Well, I'm gonna read some of the comments here from some of them, and I'll to all the Lib supporters who will flood this forum and criticize the government with their usual talking points right from the liberal playbook. Evil, neocon, divisive, Bush-like, etc., etc. Please remember that IGNIF supports torture and has publicly stated it, and they don't give you a trial before they torture you. That is from Mary Ewan, about 3:40 p.m. or 15:40 this afternoon, July 15th. Not again, please. Enough already. Ask me if I care. The answer is no. I'm tired of seeing Khadr painted as the victim. He isn't. He has to face trial for his action. He is where he belongs. CSIS did their job. Yes, they did. Here's one from PJC. Do you believe in the rule of law or not? There are ignorant or hateful comments below. I ask Mantis, R99, and others like them. Do you believe in the rule of law or don't you? If you believe that the treatment described of a single individual who was arrested at the age of 15 has not yet faced trial, and who has been tortured, that is indisputable, which it is actually disputable, in my opinion, is acceptable, then you don't believe in the rule of law. And if you don't believe in the rule of law, what do you believe in? I'll tell you this, sir. Torture, you don't know what torture is. Sleep deprivation is not torture. Uh, Things like that. Turn the air conditioner. Making you uncomfortable, that's not torture. It's something to live with, okay? I'm sorry to say, it's not torture. No, he was not subjected to torture. Here's another one. Very confusing. 15-year-olds involved in conflicts in Africa are considered child soldiers and deemed victims by the Canadian government, no matter what crimes they commit. But this 15-year-old Canadian involved in the conflict was not only denied a fair trial, but deemed worthy of torture by our government. We never tortured the Nazis at Nuremberg, Paul Bernardo, Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, etc. But for some reason, it's okay for 400 people who have subsequently been released from Gitmo to have been waterboarded and subject to other torture. Why were these people punished in ways that no one in the West has subjected since World War II, even before the crimes were investigated? And why is our PM refusing reputation of to Khadr? Remember that we're the ones who used to preach to the USSR and China that there was never any excuse for torture. It's official. We're morally bankrupt. That's Aussie 3. Well, I'm gonna say this, Mr. Ozzy. You're full of shit. Torture. He was not. Waterboarding is not torture. It's giving the bloody criminals a bath. Okay, I don't care what you say. I want to cut this part short right now. So thank you, and